that I talk, then you can tell me, are you crazy?
Maybe we all need t-shirts first that say, I don't know, whatever it is that you feel is your strategy, your plan to get you to your goal. So one of the things is I think that you need to truly understand what your mission statement is. Does it really reflect this new board's direction as to what is it that you want to do? Okay. And I'll come in if I think that we are going a little bit to the side or we're going in too deep, that we really don't need to go too deep. It's just an identified steps, right? So, and that's when I'll come in and sort of guide us through and get to the point that we do have an objective, that you'll have a list, hopefully, of things that you want to either elaborate in another meeting or actually say, okay, I got my marching orders. I'm going to be dealing with the members from the list from A through D. Then the rest of us take the rest of the alphabet by calling them, sending them emails, whatever your strategy is, whatever your activity is. All right?
Perfect.
Thank you, Judy.
Yeah.
Excuse me, thank you, Dr. Judy.
No, it's okay.
Because sometimes it's like, she's so humble that, you forget that you're dealing with a doctor here, so it's like, oh my God.
No. It's a matter of fact, you can call me Dr. J. And I figure it's like, I think we all do say that, right? It took so long.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep well for so many years.
We need to acknowledge our people. So going back to the mission, I'm gonna turn off the light. Everything that I have is there. So I think what you're gonna have to do is just circle or highlight once I say it, like whatever you actually feel connected to. So that way we can discuss it, later. Because obviously, as we said, everything that is here is just a proposal from me, It's just like through the years I've seen the chamber. I just saw, 1989. So next year is gonna be 30 years that somebody started Chamber of Commerce for Solano and Napa. And almost 30 years, and we still don't have an office. We still don't have representation, that is strong with the government. So for me, it's like, okay, right now, for all the climate, how the politics and everything is going, discrimination is still going on. If we don't get together, if we don't work towards consolidating and helping our community, nobody's gonna do it for us. If nobody did it before, now it's like, wait until you're a citizen, and if you are a citizen, but you were not born here, maybe they're gonna take away your papers and you're not gonna be a citizen anymore. So let's not wait until that happens for us to actually get into, No. If we're gonna be discriminated, okay, at least let's try to let's not wait until that, happens. That's why I accepted the challenge of working and donating my time and volunteering with the chamber, because I was like, if we don't do it, who's gonna do it? Who else in Solano County is gonna care about the future of Hispanic citizens or Hispanic residents? And then the other thought that I wanna put in your minds is, when we refer to Hispanics, now I have to be like, oh, there's Hispanics that don't speak Spanish. So you have Spanish-speaking Hispanics and non-speaking Spanish Hispanics, right? So it's easier for the Hispanics that don't speak Spanish, because they already speak English, to at least get involved into other organizations and learn what's going on. But what's gonna happen with the Spanish-speaking Hispanics? It's nothing. It's like absolutely nothing. There's no, if we don't take the lead and we don't try to go back a little bit and see, hey, how you guys doing? If we don't do that, absolutely no other organization is gonna do it. So for me, identifying those organizations here in Solano County that are serving actually the Spanish-speaking community is very important, because if we that are bilingual kind of know what's going on and what are the type of rules and regulations that they're trying to impose on us, can you imagine what are they gonna know? The ones that are only Spanish-speaking? And then if you see the statistics, it's 25% of the people in Solano County supposed to be Hispanic. Now, from those 25%, how many of those actually speak Spanish and how many only speak English? I don't know. We don't know that yet, but that's the scenario that we have going on right now. And I think that by knowing really what we are doing here, it's gonna be more passionate. It's gonna be like finding more people that is gonna connect with that mission of let's do it for our people. It's not gonna be for us. It's gonna be for our people, and hopefully we can leave a legacy that even if we're not in the board, if we end up having an office, that we have a good foundation so that no matter who is in the board, that still remains. And that we are not like, in 2018 and 2019, the chamber, that board had an office, they opened up an office, but then in 2020 they closed because they didn't have enough, a good plan in place for succession, right, for leadership. They didn't have enough leaders to, to continue with the mission. So that's what we want to avoid, so that our work is actually like worth it, right? Like, it's still going, but now it's going stronger. It's like, 10 years, it's gonna be 10 years, but now 20 years is like, we have some sort of growth, like, okay, we have 100 members, we have now 200, 500, or 1,000, whatever. So on the mission, this is the mission that we have. It's to strengthen Hispanic businesses, right? That's why I put it in the bottom, strengthening Hispanic businesses in Solano County. As Julian said, there's other, chambers all over the U.S. Every county has different community percentages and different needs, and we don't know really what are the needs of our own, people in Solano County. And so everything that we're going to be doing, everything that I'm going to be discussing and showing you is only about Solano County. I don't know what other counties are doing, but it's only for our county. So when we're trying to strengthen the Hispanic businesses, the mission says providing tools that are going to advance the prosperity and success, right? So what are going to be those tools? When I go to, that's the question that is going to be just floating. So that's one that you have to just keep there. The long-term vision for me, how do I see it, is promoting economic growth and development. As a chamber, I think that's our key. No other type of organization is going to want to deal with economic growth and development. And we have to work on that while positioning our chamber within the community and the government officials as a strong and efficient advocate for Spanish-speaking and Hispanic business owners. So if you divide this vision, everything that we're going to be doing is going to be with the objective of promoting economic growth and development of the Hispanic businesses, right? And we already know that Hispanic businesses could be Spanish-speaking business owners or non-Spanish, business owners. And positioning the chamber is like Doris already said, they already did a reputation. The reputation of the chamber has been improving over time. There was a point in time where the Solano Hispanic Chamber, you were referring to them as, it's a party chamber, they don't do nothing. They just get there and, just have a little fun, but there's nothing really that comes out of there. That's something that we definitely, don't want to make sure, we don't want to fall under that. Anything that we do has to be to improve and build upon the reputation that we already have, right? And within the community, I said that because it's very important. I believe that our Spanish-speaking and Hispanic community that don't speak Spanish see the chamber as really we're advocating, because when you go to a meeting at the Northern Regional level, that's where you're gonna know a little more like what's really the power of the chambers. Because maybe at this level you see like, we're just meeting here, like every month, and we have our research, but nothing really happens. No. The issues that Julian was talking about, like the energy regulations and other things that are affecting businesses, we actually have the power to talk to city officials at all the levels, ordinances at the city level, at the county level, at the state level, and at the country level. Is like, if we are really like together and we are organized and we have the capacity to talk to a representative properly, we actually can influence what type of laws are gonna be affecting our people. But in the community, when the first time everybody knows that already, I think. The first time I went to a mixer for this chamber, and I get there, in my mind, look at this, there's an immigrant that came over from Mexico, that learned English in Mexico, that was starting her business and in Vallejo. And so she wanted to go to a chamber, right? Because she knew that Chamber of Commerce, for the type of business she had, was the way to grow the business. And so she went to the Vallejo Chamber, and it was a huge, chamber, huge mixer with like more than 100 people. Obviously, she sees that everybody knows each other, and she feels like, oh my goodness, what am I get myself into, right? And then I was like, oh my gosh, they should be at the Hispanic chamber. So I was like desperately looking for a Hispanic chamber. At that time was exactly when the split of the Napa and the Solano happened. So that was when Ernie Falcon was actually taking over as the Solano Hispanic Chamber, so they connected me with him. So in my mind, and in a lot of immigrants that speak Spanish, when they look for the Hispanic Chamber, they expect that at least somebody from the board, or some of the events, the trainings or the mixers are gonna be in Spanish, right? At that time, I didn't have I was not too open to, okay, let's make it bilingual, right? But when I get there, I was like, am I the wrong chamber or what? Thinking about, like, if you think, okay, this is a man chamber or this is a woman chamber, you get there, you expect that you're gonna be seeing most, people that are gonna be, either man or woman. But in this case, what's about the language, what's about the Hispanic term. So for our community, for a lot of the members in our community, we are like, yeah, we are the Hispanic chamber, we don't even care about them. Why should they join? None of our communications are in Spanish, or most of them are not. Most of our events are not in Spanish. So, why should we belong to that, right? And so, maybe it's not all of the percentage of the population, that's why it's very interesting, and I don't know where we're gonna get that information from, as far as like getting to know what is really the percentage in our community that are Spanish speaking. Of those Hispanics, 25%, how many is Spanish speaking, and how many is, that are already speaking English?
You can get that from census data.
That's what I was wondering. Okay. So, see, that information I think is gonna be critical, because then we're gonna be like, well, Spanish speaking is only like 5% already, because everybody else is already like second or third generation. So we don't even have to, it's not even worth our time, right? To try to help the Spanish speaking business owners or community. So that's information that we need, I think, in order for us to do that. And also, as we participate on the program that Julian was saying, the capacity building for how we're gonna be advocating, what is the best way for us as members to meet with city officials, when they see the type of questions that we ask them. When we went to Sacramento that time, and we didn't know nothing about what was in there, we were just like, oh, this is the things, this is yes and this is no. And then we had no questions to ask, because we were not prepared for that. And do you think that they had a good impression of us at that time? It's like, no, we were just kind of went to see how the thing was, right? But that shouldn't happen. Obviously, we went there still because, at one point in time, you have to start learning. But if we already know that California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce, they have a program that we can take, so that we know how to set up an appointment with a government official, so that then we can maybe have a monthly, meeting with them at the city level. And then we can maybe have a quarterly where we have the senator and the assembly member or whatever, so that we actually have a good connection with our community, and then we have the issues, and then we can actually tell them, hey, this is going on here with us. What are you gonna do for this or for that, right? So that's why, as a long-term vision, I don't know how long that's gonna take, but for me, I think that will be like something that I would love to, to happen for our chamber. So that we have the recognition, the community and on the government side, about our organization is a strong and efficient advocate for our Spanish-speaking and Hispanic business owners. That's why I make the differentiation. You're gonna see on the papers that Spanish-speaking and Hispanic, because I'm making that difference because I don't know. I just want to include the Spanish-speaking population, and that's why you're going to be seeing part of the tactics as far as like getting bilingual stuff in Spanish-speaking, right? Because we are the Hispanic Chamber. So goals and purposes. That one, all those four are taken actually from the website of the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce. I realized that that's exactly what we have in our binder, but they took it over from the California Hispanic Chambers. Sometimes we don't really need to reinvent the wheel. You know, if they already have something that makes sense for us, it's like, why do we have to reword it, right? But on this one here, I did a change. Increase the advancement and development of Hispanic, it says minority-owned businesses in Solano County. I said woman. Obviously, this is going to be a decision that we have to make. I'm proposing to specifically just say woman, just because we have in Solano County, African American Chamber of Commerce, we have Filipino Chamber of Commerce, but there's no such a thing as woman Chamber of Commerce. So if we serve our Hispanic business owners and also women, as far as that part of our agenda, right? I think that it will be still okay. I mean, obviously our priority should be just Hispanic, right? But if we want to include part of the minority, my suggestion and my proposal is that we say, okay, let's also advocate for women business owners, right? No matter what ethnicity they have.
I think you were mixing things up a little bit, because in your long-term vision, you put in Hispanic and Spanish speakers, small businesses. Mm-hmm. Now over here, you're going to increase the advance and development of Hispanic and women-owned businesses. So.
Oh, the reason why I just put that in there was because in our paper it says minority-owned, and the only thing I'm doing is instead of doing minority-owned, I'm just specifying to woman, right? But we can just say, you know what? That minority thing is on the original papers that we got. So if we don't agree with that, we can just say just Hispanic, and that's it, no problem, right? The second one is provide forums for the exchange of technical assistance, procurement, and business opportunities, right? And it's the same.
Can I interject?
Yes.
So you have your mission, right? So I think we're all in agreement that you have a mission, right? And it's okay the way it reads. Now you're going into the goals of how. So you're defining goals right now to address your mission, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's part of the goals that are already in place.
So when you begin to work on your goals, you're now beginning to go into more of a definition. So by defining or including women, okay, you are now beginning to create that different level, okay, of a goal that needs to be addressed. So there you're going to be addressing both Hispanic, and I'm not sure what Hispanic means by itself, and women-owned businesses. So to your point, it's not that we're mixing, but now we're actually adding a lot to what is the goal that we want in that particular one. So we want to increase the advancement and development, which is what the mission said, right? So now we're saying of what? Of Hispanic and women-owned businesses. So I think we need to have clarification there.
Mm-hmm. And as I said, that one was the only thing I modified from the papers that we had originally, the board, the binder. If you look in the binder on the papers that we received the first time we joined the board, it says it reads minority-owned business, and so the only thing I did was just change, instead of saying minority-owned business, I just say woman, just because the other minorities are already represented, but we can totally just.
Yeah, couldn't you just take out and women because women are Hispanics?
Not all the women are Hispanic,
Well,
but
Well,
but that's something that we are gonna be voting on.
right.
So that one is for, right now, it's just for your information purposes only, right? And then we're just gonna cross out anything that we don't like, we're gonna cross it out.
If you do keep and women-owned businesses that are not Hispanic, we will have to change our mission. Because the mission does say Hispanic businesses.
Yeah, so
It doesn't say and women businesses.
Well, before it was reading minority owned, and they still have that mission, so, but we can totally like change
So I
it
guess, yeah,
if you
so,
guys decide to
you
do
know,
it.
this is the discussion that we're having, which is good. So we're beginning already to drill down, to truly understand what is that goal, and we're only talking about one goal, okay? And so, but to the point that's going on here, that's exactly what you need to be doing. Now, just because it reads that way, you could certainly change it. Because it's going to be, so these are just foundations, I guess, from what you've seen, right? So why reinvent the wheel? Great, but you can start reshaping it.
Yeah, nothing is set in stone, this one is not a final, this is a pre, and then we just change it as we need to. So, those were part of the goals and purposes that we had before. So they provide forums for the exchange of technical assistance, procurement, and business opportunities, right? So those, when we go to that goal, to do that goal, we're gonna have to be actually presenting what type of forum we're gonna be hosting or creating, right? To have that technical assistance, that procurement, that business opportunity for our members. And then the develop program of advocacy to inform and educate elected appointment officials. That's the point that talks about how are we gonna be saying, you know, we're here, Mr. Official, right? Our people has these needs or whatever. So this is the one that we, this program perhaps has already developed, we just have to take the training from the California Hispanic Chambers. And then this last one is just, you know, as we already have some collaboration, like in Vallejo, right? They have the Vallejo Business Alliance with other chambers and the city. It's just gonna be a matter of doing that through the whole county. And we're just gonna be definitely collaborating with other organizations that also want to help us to accomplish our goals as far as economic development and advancement of our people. Okay, so that was part of the first section that you had there. Now, the big picture, I didn't put a time and I didn't say long term or whatever, because this is what I see. I see that we could have more than 1,000 members in a chamber. Why? Vallejo Chamber of Commerce have over 500 members. Fairfield has over 600 members. And then Vacaville, I don't know, and then we have Dixon, and we have Rio Vista, and we also have the Nation. Those are city chambers.
I'm sorry, how many members do we have right now, currently?
That is a
That'd be
question.
good to put on the slide if we have that.
At this moment, I don't know. They haven't sent me the updated
Does Leo know?
list, but
Do you know?
What I would like to do is, get together, the three of us, to look at the, what is it, software?
QuickBooks,
Okay.
QuickBooks?
to see how many paid
See.
members we have.
Yeah, because I
never
don't know
seen it.
anything yet. I
It
mean,
is.
nothing.
It is difficult to know because what they have done in the past is that they become members because they donate something for the gala. And they don't pay the dues, so that's how they're becoming members.
Yeah.
So I do have the list I got
Okay.
from last year,
Okay.
and we have sent invoices to the business they have on the list, but they have, some of them that haven't paid.
Okay.
And some of them, we wait until March, when it's the gala, and they donate to the gala, and that's how they renew
Okay.
the
The
membership.
memberships. Yeah.
Okay. So
So,
we might need to have a discussion about the process.
just to clarify
Yes.
it, let's just pretend that we're starting, we're gonna be rebuilding everybody, right? And but as Dr. Judy said, what is the value we're gonna be adding to them? So that when we come back with the invoice, they actually be like, oh, okay, let me renew and pay, and actually pay, right? Because
Right.
we have the potential of having 1,000 members. How soon is it gonna be depending on, you know, what is the value that we're gonna be adding to those members for them to want to join? What's gonna be the price we're gonna be charging, you know, what are the benefits that we're gonna have? And what's gonna be the main, we're gonna be catering to a little more to the Spanish speaking, or we're not gonna care about them, or we're just gonna say Hispanics and you have to be bilingual, right? But you have the Hispanic just because, I don't know, your parents were born here, I mean, you came here from Mexico like 4 generations ago and you're considered Hispanic, so, right? But you don't really have any connections to any of the Latin American, countries. So that's the thing that we have to decide. And then also having our main office. Why in Fairfield? Because Fairfield is the center, is like 20, 30 minutes at the most to all of the cities in Solano County. So having the main office in Fairfield with full-time staff is something that definitely we need to have. I would love to see our office as a co-working model, where we have, imagine you have this office where you can actually have professional business address for your members, where you can have a conference room that your members can access for a fee, obviously. You have your own, meeting space. If you have been in rehab spaces, that's like the concept. I was like, I think that would be great for a chamber, just because you could get other members from even from other cities that they wanna open an office, in Solano County, and they can have access to that. It looks professional. Obviously, it will have to be in a nice location, because that's how the people is gonna be perceiving us. We need to be very careful about where we're gonna be putting that office, so that people take us seriously, right? Because we have the potential to have a good quality and a good brand, for our chamber. And also picking the 3 cities where we have the most members and having satellite offices. Where, sometimes in the past, members that are in, let's say in Vacaville or in Vallejo, they have an extra desk or something, and they will say, oh, okay, we have presence here, and then they will let us use part of their walls to display marketing materials for the chamber and also for the members. And so that way we don't have to have another office right in there, adding more cost to the operation of the chamber. But it helps the business, the member, because more people that is looking for information for the chamber, gets there, and maybe they can also do business with a business owner, right? And then the other thing is hosting signature events to promote our culture. I am just suggesting there in March, just because it's an International Women's Day for business owners. Women business owners are Hispanics, obviously. Then you also have the Cinco de Mayo celebration. I know that one is more like a Mexican type of event, but it's already out there. And it just saddens me that for our community, they have to go all the way to San Jose, all the way to Oakland, all the way to Sacramento to celebrate something that is already being celebrated. And we at the Solano, county level, we really don't have nothing going on. And we don't have to create it by itself, but we can partner with other organizations, or we can make of that event a big fundraising for ourselves, right? But it's just an idea. And then definitely September and October, the Hispanic Heritage Month, making sure that we have enough events through that time to recognize, and then also have moving our gala to that. That was the time that we had our gala before, because Hispanic, Heritage Month. It was in about October. The problem with that was that because we just started in July, right? And then you have a new board, and then you have an event, the biggest event of the year, you have it in 3 months. It's not enough time to plan, right? And so that's one of the things that eventually also I would like to ask everybody to see if you agree, that we move our terms calendar year, so that the whole board is from January to December, so that when we do our taxes and we put our numbers together, they can see really, okay, this board did a good job or not, because they raised this much money, they spent this much money, and they were able to, to have all the events without having to work with transitioning any new board members into the events. And we have a little more control on that until we have the staff, right? When you have the staff that is actually going to be taking care of all the activities, then you're fine. You don't really need to worry about too much about when the new board is coming, because the operations are still, remains there. But until we get to that point, that's one of the things that I would like to propose later. And then the lastly is the November for Dia de Muertos. So technically it's just any event that you think that is gonna enhance or say, hey, this is part of our traditions for our Hispanic community, right? And the chamber is involved into it. We don't have to be the ones that are creating the event, but we can certainly support and sponsor, those events and maybe making the connections, maybe getting the permits with the city, making it a little easier or more accessible for other organizations that wants to actually take the lead on the planning on that, right? Now, the other one is also, I said develop, collaborate, or promote the local forums, right? To provide our members the training, technical assistance, procurement opportunities, business opportunities or business referrals, the advocacy and the publicity. So those are the things that I don't know how soon, where, and when we can do, but that's part of our providing the local forums, right? To do any of these activities. And I think this is gonna be set by our members. What is it that they need the most first? Do they need technical assistance first? Training or business referrals? I mean, what is it that they want? And that's part of the survey that we're gonna have to be doing once we divide the territory. And then the other one is gonna be the relationship with the officials.
Are we gonna survey only our members, or we gonna
No,
try
everybody.
to find out everybody? Okay.
Everybody, yeah. Because the idea is we survey everybody, and then eventually that everybody is gonna be like, oh, this chamber is actually doing things for their members. Let's become a member. Because we only survey our members, then we are not really getting like the full picture, right? Of why we only have 100, but we could have 1,000, right? Because we're leaving behind the other 900 that, we're not caring about. So to do this one, this is the only one that I kind of like break down in how we could do it. To develop the relationships with the officials was to recruit 3 ambassadors and 1 VP per city on the county. So we know we have Benicia, Vallejo, Fairfield, Susan City, Rio Vista, Vacaville, and Dixon. We have 7 cities. So every city will have a bilingual ambassador that speaks Spanish and English, right? And then 1 VP. And then those 3 plus the VP has to be living in that city. Why? So that when there is meetings, they don't have to drive too long. They're gonna be already connected with the community. They're already gonna know what is it that, what are the problems in the city, right? And so when they need to go and see the businesses, or they need to go meet with the city officials, it's just better for them to know, because when you're meeting with a city official, you're advocating for somebody, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, so where do you live? There. So they know that you cannot even vote for them for a re-election. So why should they even care about developing a relationship with you, right? So and then also thinking about passionate, okay, I live in Vacaville, I'm passionate for Vacaville. It's like, I wanna know what's going on, and my people has to be good, right? So that's why I believe that if we have people that actually lives or works there, on the city that they're gonna be representing, it's gonna be easier. And then with those 4 people per city, then they can survey the Spanish speaking and Hispanic business owners in Solano County, so that we know what are the needs, what are the challenges, and what are the problems, the current problems that we have that we need to resolve. Because once we know that information, then we can add that as a benefit to our list, and then they're gonna wanna become members of the chamber. And then finally, the ambassadors and the VPs will participate in monthly and quarterly meetings with the government officials. So what they have been doing, I believe in Napa already, is that they have a monthly luncheon where they meet with different officials. It could be a city council, it could be county supervisor, it could be, the assembly member. And then that's more like a VIP type of deal, where you have your ambassadors and then maybe some members that somebody can sponsor the program. And they also, the business owners, if they have an issue, they can actually talk directly to the, you know, to the official, to the government official, right there. So that's an extra added value for them, right? So all of that is how soon, because I don't know what is the importance, what do you think is gonna be better for us? And then just bringing it now down, like more at a realistic level in the next 1 to 2 years. The first thing I'm putting is certify at least 4 board members with the Chamber Leader Program. Why that one first? Because if we don't know how to do the work, you know, maybe we're gonna be like this too, right? Is our time is gonna be more effective if we know already, you know, what are the other chambers are doing, and if we know how to do the work. So that